Hi. Okay, so this is the second part of the course orientation video. I actually made that first part last summer, so I've been here for a whole year. This is the first full summer I've been here, and the desert heat wave has about done me in, y'all. I'm not used to this, but it is still beautiful and enjoying our time here, getting to know the place and see things, and that's pretty exciting. So back to what we were talking about. On the first part of this video series, I talked about an exam every 4 weeks. I just want to make clear that's if this were a 16-week course. So since it's basically a 7 to 8 week course, those exams are every 2 weeks. So keep that in mind. This is an accelerated class. Unfortunately, we cover the same amount of information as a regular semester, but we cover it in a much shorter period of time. In addition to the exams and the lectures, in the summertime, I have you do 2 short papers. They don't require you to go to do outside research, but I do expect them to be well thought out and well argued. You will get to choose from prompts that I will give you as to which paper prompts you write about. And those will be due in the middle of the semester, week 4, and then at the end of the semester. So let me just kind of go down what each week is going to look like for you and make some recommendations. So first of all, every single week, first thing you want to do is go into that week's module. You should always have the modules as your homepage, and click on that week's overview checklist. That is where you can find a list of everything that is due, when it's due, how many points it's worth, and whether it's required or optional. You will do that every week so that you know you can literally go down and check off. I do not put every single little thing on the calendar. The reason for that is, like, if you put assigned readings on the calendar, it wants you to fill in some corresponding grade, and obviously I'm not grading you on your reading. So that's the best place to look. Major assignments and stuff, things with due dates, that will show up in your calendar, but don't solely rely on that. I will always double check the checklist to make sure you're not missing anything. That's always going to be at the top of the module for the week. And then theoretically, what you should be doing is working your way down the module in the order that it is. That'll make sure you don't miss anything. What it will look like on an average week is every single week you will have the overview, the checklist. You will also have readings every week. It's a lot of reading, so try to keep up with that. Again, quick, accelerated summer course. It's a lot to get through in a very short period of time. So you'll have readings. There will be built-in reading checks or check things. I forget what I call them. Learning checks. You will take those. Those should be easy points. They're 5 questions apiece. Essentially what that's doing is making sure that you are doing the readings before you do the lecture. It's much more beneficial to you to read and then hear the lecture than hear the lecture and not do the reading. The reason for that is we don't have time to cover everything in the reading and lecture, and the things that I do talk about in lecture will make a lot more sense if you've read the material, or it can help you make sense of what you've read in the material. So the readings and then lectures. The lectures will be divvied out in parts, so I try not to make any of them longer than 10 or 15 minutes at a time. I know it's hard for people to sit and watch an hour-long lecture at a time, so you'll have those. There are lecture guides that you can use to follow along for each corresponding part. You can find the lecture guides under class files, lecture guides. Under that folder is every single lecture guide for every single one. So you will do the lectures. You will always post to the discussion boards and do 2 replies to the discussion boards. Now that's for every single week. Then in alternating weeks, depending on the week, that's why it's so important you check. Every other week you'll have an exam. And then of course 2 weeks you will have 2 short papers instead of an exam, with the exception of the final week, in which case you will have the short paper, and then during the finals day, you will have the 4th exam. The 4th exam is not cumulative, it's just exam 4. So that's your final exam. You'll also each week want to see if there's any optional or suggested assignments for extra credit. If you have time, it's great to do those. So again, each week, check the checklist, move down the module, and that's how you will make sure you get everything there, everything that you need. If you have questions, of course, don't hesitate to ask me. Now, there's a couple of things that I want to talk to you about since this is a summer class and something I've kind of discovered with Canvas since being here. The first thing, as a summer class, to take an online, consolidated, intense class, you're going to have to be on top of things. Unfortunately, there's no other way around that. We have to cover a certain amount of material, and that means that it gets smushed into a very short time frame. So the best way to succeed in a class that moves this quickly is to jump on it as soon as you can. The nice thing about this online class is that we don't have scheduled meetings. Nothing has to be done all together at the same time. So you can use whatever bits and pieces of time you have and schedule yourself accordingly. But you do need to make sure that you don't leave everything to the end of the week, because then people tend to have a hard time getting it all done if you're waiting until Fridays. And Fridays is generally when the discussion board postings are due, but then Sundays are when the replies and most other assignments or exams are due. So if you're waiting right up until Friday, it's going to be hard to get that much reading done and then get all the assignments done as well. And I don't want you panicking over a weekend. I don't want you feeling so rushed that you don't do as well as you could do. So time management is the key for any course, any online course, and especially condensed online courses. The other thing is Canvas. So if you want to message me, you can message me through Canvas, or you can email me. I highly recommend emailing me as opposed to using Canvas. I know that sounds weird, but here's why. Canvas, for some reason, occasionally takes someone's message and just poof into the ether. I don't know where it goes. It just doesn't show up on my end. The other issue with Canvas is that, let me see if I can explain this because it's kind of a visual. If you write me something, a question, and I answer you, and then you reply back on that message, it comes up on my end like a whole new message. So I can't actually see the original message or my response to it. So it doesn't act like an email thread in that way, at least on my end. And so if you write me and it's the third time we've gone back and forth, I might have to ask you again, I'm sorry, what was this about? And what did I say before? It's just an odd system that I am still trying to figure out. So if you email me, there's always that kind of string that I can see exactly the conversation before it. You can use Canvas. Just if you don't hear back from me on Canvas within, say, 24 hours, you might shoot me an email because it might have either not shown up or it gets buried in there. It's weird. So just to let you know that. Also related to Canvas is that I am a HealthComm guru. I'm not a tech guru. So Canvas has its own bugs sometimes. Sometimes it's something that is on my end and I can fix, and sometimes it's on the Canvas end and I can't fix that. I'm doing good to just make videos. I've never been a technology person. So here's the deal I'm making with you. If something is not showing up on your end, first, let me know as soon as possible so I can double check to make sure that my settings on this side are what they should be, because it might just be that there's a button that's not been clicked or whatnot. But I can't see what you see. So you're seeing a different screen than I am. So let me know, because if I can see something, I'm assuming you all can see it. So let me know if something isn't working right, something's not showing up, something's not linking. If I go and look and it's not on my end, there's something down, don't panic. I would never, ever, ever punish you guys or penalize you guys because Canvas isn't working right or there's a glitch in the system. So I had this happen a couple semesters ago. Students were freaking out because they thought I was going to penalize them because an exam was due, but Canvas was not working, and I'm never going to do that to you. If anything ever were to change for any reason in my classes, it's always going to be to your advantage. I would never, if it was a mistake on my part or on Canvas, whether it's in person or online, if something goes awry, I'm always going to make sure that you come out with the benefit as opposed to a penalty. So don't worry about that. But do let me know if something's not working right so I can either fix it or notify the Canvas techs so that they can get on fixing it as quickly as possible. If that does happen, I will send out very specific instructions on what to do in the meantime while they're getting that fixed. So I just wanted to put that out there. Okay, so again, quick class, stay on top of it. Each week, go to the module, work your way through it. It's a lot to get through. We do cover a lot of material in this class. It's a survey course. So please don't hesitate to let me know if you have questions. I will get back to you quickly, usually within a few hours, sometimes up to 24. Give me up to 24 hours. Give yourself enough time to have 24 hours for me to respond to you. Sometimes I'm traveling and whatnot, and as you all know, the Wi-Fi in certain parts out here doesn't work so well. So, yeah. So welcome. That was a lot to just jump on you. Hello. But looking forward to it. I think you're going to enjoy it. It's a lot of work, but usually everybody finds something in this class that they find interesting since it is a survey course. And I love this. I love this topic. I love this class. That's why I majored and got my PhD in this. So please don't hesitate to reach out. I'm around pretty much for the summer. If I'm not going to be around, but you want to meet, we will figure out something. Yeah. Okay, I don't want to keep rambling because you have lots to get to this week. Week 1, you've got both orientation and week 1 content. So go ahead, green light go, get started, and let me know if you have any questions. The content for the following week will always be up before Monday. So there you go. The only reason, I know I said I wasn't going to ramble. The only reason I don't let people work way ahead is it tends to be that people start doing assignments and they haven't actually read the readings and then nothing makes sense. And so I will always make sure it's open for you for the beginning of the week. And if for some reason you're not seeing the content first thing Monday morning, again, let me know so I can make sure the Canvas is activated properly. Yeah, so welcome. Get to working. Let me know if you have any questions, and I will talk to you soon.